November 2nd, 2014, 9:39 p.m., Philadelphia, United States. The girl you are seeing in this video is about to be kidnapped within minutes. Every second of this footage slowly pulls us closer to a horrifying moment. The story begins with a phone call. A man calls the police and says something feels wrong. He believes he may have just witnessed a woman being forced into a car. Police immediately request footage from nearby security cameras, hoping to uncover the truth before it's too late. The first camera shows a quiet street. A car is seen turning onto Coulter Street and driving away. Nothing appears unusual. About 20 seconds later, a bus stops at a red light. From this camera angle, it's unclear whether anyone gets off. The street remains completely silent for a few moments. Then, 16 seconds later, movement appears on screen. That shadow belongs to a young woman walking alone at night. She has missed her bus. And the most dangerous thing of all, she has no idea she is no longer alone. If you look carefully, a man can be seen walking behind her. As she reaches the intersection and begins to cross the street, the man approaches and starts talking to her. She turns toward him, but her body language tells a different story. She listens, yet her steps slowly move backward, as if she's trying to create distance without making it obvious. It looks like they shake hands, but the moment lasts far too long. He doesn't let go. And the next second, both of them disappear from the camera's view, vanishing behind the corner of the street. When police arrive at the location, they find disturbing items scattered on the ground. A pair of glasses, broken glass, and a mobile phone. It's clear that whatever happened was not quiet or consensual, but the camera cannot see beyond that corner. For a moment, police have nothing but questions. Then the investigation takes a turn. Police locate another nearby security camera. Detectives rewind the footage to 9:39 p.m., just before the bus appears again. Within seconds, something familiar appears, the same car seen earlier on Coulter Street. This time, the car slows down and parks close to the camera. Moments later, the bus stops on Green Street. Based on timing, detectives expect the girl to appear about 40 seconds later, but what happens is far more terrifying. Just 16 seconds after the bus stops, a dark figure emerges from the bottom of the frame and crosses the street toward the north side. From his walk and movements, detectives instantly recognize him. It's the same man. Then the girl appears. She walks forward, unaware of what is about to happen. The man pauses for a brief moment, as if thinking. Then he crosses the intersection and follows her. From the first camera, the details were unclear, but from this angle, everything is painfully visible. And what happens next shocks the entire city. What you are seeing now is the man dragging the girl along the sidewalk. She fights with everything she has, trying desperately to break free, but he completely overpowers her. As they move closer to the camera, he forces her toward a parked car. In the final moments, it looks like she might escape, but look closely. She does something that later helps save her life. When police review the footage again, they notice that while she is being dragged, she is holding her mobile phone. Seconds later, it slips from her hand and falls onto the street. That phone becomes the most critical piece of evidence in the case. Using it, police finally identify the victim. Her name is Carlesha Freeland-Gaither. She is 22 years old. She works as a nursing aide. As detectives continue reviewing the footage, they notice another shadowy figure near the top of the screen. That man is Dwayne Fletcher, the same person who made the 911 call. Fletcher tells police that before the attack he saw Carlesha and noticed she appeared nervous. At 9:39 p.m., he was walking on Green Street toward a convenience store just behind her. About 1 minute later, he heard a scream. He immediately turned and ran toward Coulter Street. That's when he saw it. Carlesha being forced into a parked car. He ran toward them as fast as he could. Then he stopped. Fletcher believed he had heard a gunshot. Terrified, he hid, and the car sped away. Later, when police tell him that no shell casings or bullets were found at the scene, his world collapses. Investigators explained that the sound he believed was a gunshot was likely the car window shattering when Carlesha made a final attempt to escape. Fletcher is devastated. He keeps thinking, if she's dead, I'll never forgive myself. By Monday, November 3rd, 12 hours have passed since the kidnapping. Police question Carlesha's family, friends and co-workers, but no solid leads emerge. Her family begins searching on their own. Posters are printed, flyers are distributed. Eventually, police release the surveillance footage to the public. But there is a major problem. The video quality is so poor that identifying the suspect is nearly impossible. However, the man is not unknown to law enforcement. Just 1 month earlier, he had already been a suspect in another kidnapping. His name is Delvin Barnes. In that earlier case, the victim miraculously escaped. She told police that Barnes showed her photos of previous victims and claimed he kept women captive for 2 days before making them disappear. When police attempted to arrest him, Barnes had already fled. Time was running out, and investigators feared Carlesha would suffer the same fate. On Tuesday, November 4th, 36 hours after the kidnapping, police announce a $7,000 reward. Hope flickers. Tips begin pouring in. One call stands out. A woman from Havre de Grace, Maryland, more than 112 kilometers away, reports strange trash found on her property. Police respond immediately. What they find is chilling. Broken glass, candy wrappers, potato chip bags, a cut zip tie, a receipt, and a single earring, placed together in a plastic bag. The evidence looks almost deliberately arranged. The receipt becomes the key. It is from a Philadelphia supermarket. Police review the store's surveillance footage. At 1:43 p.m., a man enters wearing a black cap and dark clothing, matching the kidnapper's description. He repeatedly raises his hand to his face, trying to hide his identity. His face is never clearly captured. Investigators also notice tire tracks leading from the property toward a nearby river. Fearing the worst, the FBI launches a massive search of the Susquehanna River. As the clock passes 48 hours, hope begins to fade. But Carlesha is still alive. She is locked inside the trunk of a moving car, terrified, alone. Yet she refuses to give up. She had intentionally left her phone behind as a clue. Inside the car, she tries to escape again, but the child locks stop her. Then she finds a hammer. She strikes him. Blood spills. She smashes the window. For a moment, she believes she is free. But Delvin Barnes pulls her back inside. On November 4th, 2 days after the kidnapping, the FBI discovered that Carlesha's bank card had been used. The location was just 8 kilometers from where her belongings had been found in the trash. Investigators reviewed the ATM footage and noticed the same man who had earlier been seen at the supermarket. However, the camera quality was poor, so his face was not clearly visible. One thing, however, was absolutely clear to the detectives. Carlesha was alive at the time the footage was recorded. For the man to use her card, she would have had to enter her PIN herself. Meanwhile, agents at the scene had another idea. What if the man was spending money nearby? They began checking a convenience store less than half a mile away. This time, they succeeded. The FBI finally had a clear image of their suspect's face. Footage of him walking around the convenience store was broadcast across the country. 3 days after the kidnapping, authorities finally identify Barnes. Tracking data leads agents to a strip mall in Maryland. TF agents surround the vehicle. One detail that later became critical was the plastic covering on the car window. During the kidnapping, the rear passenger side window was shattered. To keep driving without attracting attention, the kidnapper covered the broken window with plastic and tape. The plastic was there to hide the damage caused during the abduction. Ironically, it did the opposite. The unusual plastic-covered window made the car stand out, and when police later spotted the vehicle, it immediately matched the description they were looking for. That small detail, a broken window wrapped in plastic, helped officers identify the car. stop it, and rescue Carlesha alive. Delvin Barnes later pleads guilty to federal kidnapping charges and is sentenced to 35 years in prison. Carlesha survives. She endures the trauma, faces her fears, and eventually rebuilds her life. Today, she is a mother, and her courage brought an end to a reign of terror. Her story proves one thing. Even when everything seems lost, never stop fighting.